Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Lexicon Live. We're really glad to have the opportunity to come to you today and speak about the business of law and how law firms can optimize their practices to make more money by leveraging new law. So let's give you a little bit of background about Lexicon. We are both a practice management solution provider as well as a practice service provider. We provide a variety of services to help law firms operate more efficiently, more effectively. And what we really like to say is we do the things that law firms really don't like to do so that you guys can focus on the practice of law. Let us handle the business things that really aren't key to your business's success. As you can see, we offer document management, trust accounting, client intake, calendar integrations, billing, reporting, technical support, dashboards about the health of your firm, timekeeping, and then matter and client management are all embedded in the software. Even at the base price point, you get all of that inclusive. You don't need to go out and buy an extra document management system, for example. And then from a services perspective, we offer information technology, operational support, collections, human resources, recruiting, procurement, virtual receptionists, scheduling, facilities management, marketing, customer surveys, quality systems for attorneys. And why would somebody want to work with us? We've been doing this for a long time. We've helped firms grow from 10 offices to well over 100. And when firms implement Lexicon or systems like Lexicon, they see a $20,000 to $30,000 per attorney increase in revenue through smarter management and smarter timekeeping practices. As I said, I'm Scott Brennan. I'm the CEO of Lexicon. It is a pleasure to be here today. We're going to split this month's webinar into 2 sessions. Make sure to register for part 2 on June 25th, right here on this landing page after today's session ends. LexiconServices.com/webinar. And let's talk a little bit about new law and what new law means, because it means a lot of things to, I think, a lot of people. Effectively, a law firm exists to provide a core set of legal services to their clients, and you want to provide the best legal advice, the best representation possible. Anything that is not core to that mission, that you don't do day in and day out, is something that you could consider outsourcing to a new law provider. So in the new law era, things like e-discovery, data reconciliation, they are all part of new law. But also, you could consider other things as part of new law. Things like human resources support, even digitized timekeeping, document management systems, outsourced virtual paralegal services. All of these things could be considered new law. So what we tell our law firm customers is really think about what is it that your firm stands for, and then how important are all of the things that you and your attorneys spend time doing in achieving your firm's mission, right? So, are you spending a lot of time in marketing? Is that core to your mission? Are you spending a lot of time on time tracking? Is that core to your mission? Would you be better off considering, should these services be outsourced? So one of the things you'd want to consider, the second question to ask yourself is, what's the cost of doing this ourselves? There's an opportunity cost to having an attorney spend time writing a blog post, for example. You may also want to ask yourself, how good are we as a firm at doing this? If it's a hobby, you're probably not as good at it as professionals who do it every day. And you probably don't have the right level of expertise and technology behind some of these functions. And then lastly, do you have the right people in the roles to the extent that you've decided you do want to own it, right? Or should you be augmenting some of that with outside legal support? So take a look at your firm, decide what those critical functions are, and then take a look at which of those functions could you outsource, and then ask yourself, how can technology help make that function more effective? As you can see, there are a lot of functions that your law firm has to do every day in order to succeed. Things like billing and collections, quality and operations, marketing, right? Facilities, managing your facilities, virtual receptionists, running a receptionist pool, from an operational perspective. There are a whole host of things that have to be taken care of on a daily basis. These are all services that you could potentially outsource, and there's even more. But we're really going to focus today on human resources and recruiting, marketing, operations and quality, and client care or customer care. So let's start with recruiting, right? On average, for an attorney position, it takes 42 days to fill a role. Also on average, firms lose 15 attorneys for every 20 new associates that they hire. If you look at that across an established firm, and in this case, the top 400 firms in the US, they average 17% employee attrition a year. That means 17% of their attorneys are leaving the firm and they need to be replaced. If you want to grow, you now need to hire more than that in order to achieve your growth targets. On top of it, because of the billable rates that those firms sustain, every time you have to recruit an associate, it costs you about $400,000 in lost revenue, bringing a new associate up to speed, potentially some time spent where that role wasn't filled if the attrition occurred without a lot of notice. And you have to spend money and time recruiting that associate. Overall, for the top 400 firms in the US, recruiting alone costs these firms over $25 million a year. Right? How do you get to that number? Again, it's time lost to interviews. It is the cost of doing background checks and interviewing, maybe flying people in to come visit with you in your offices. It's the cost of the base salary, it's the lost time, the opportunity cost of not having an attorney billing, it's potential damage to your client relationships, it's firm reputational damage, right? And then it's the stress and morale hit that you take with the people who didn't leave, who may now need to pick that workload up for a period of time until the new attorney is up to speed. So it's a material cost for firms, right? And there are a lot of reasons why it might make sense for you to outsource recruiting. First, not only do you just post a job and then wait for people to come, you actually need to advertise. You need to put it on job boards. You need to screen those applicants before they even get to an interview to make sure that they meet the qualifications and criteria for your firm. You need to run background checks. You may want to do a skill assessment. There's negotiating around the offer. There's putting the offer out in writing. Then there's bringing them on board and training them on your firm. So why would you want to work with an expert? Well, if you work with a recruiting firm that has expertise in the legal industry, whether that's recruiting for attorneys, legal staff, or even non-attorney executives and business managers, they understand the marketplace. They understand where to post those jobs. They understand that they need relationships with the local bar associations to find the right candidates for you. So there are a lot of great reasons why using an established recruiting firm with a focus on hiring attorneys could either shorten the time from 42 days to less than 42 days, or reduce the cost and burden on your firm by taking a lot of that administrative work off of your plate and putting it onto the back of the recruiting firm. Now let's take a quick look at marketing. What goes into marketing? Why is marketing important? Obviously, one of the things that you want to do is build your firm's brand, right? What does your firm stand for? Why would a person want to choose your firm over any of the other firms in the market or in the practice area that you compete with it, right? How do you differentiate yourself? Who are your target customers? Does your logo stand for who you are? So there's a lot that goes into that brand building that really should be considered, and having a discussion with an outside expert in marketing to really clarify your thoughts and your objectives would help move your brand forward. Then you have to live up to your brand. So you have to stake how your firm really stands out. So has your firm won any awards? Have there been any reviews written in any of the trade press or in local papers? Do you even know what your reviews look like on Google Reviews or Yelp? And then, is there an opportunity for you to publish white papers or case studies about things you've done? Raise your profile within the industry so that your brand always floats to the top when somebody's considering a law firm. Thought leadership, right? You want to establish that thought leadership, and then you want to be continuously engaged with PR. You want to have your name in the press as often as possible so that anytime somebody mentions your practice area, they talk about law in your municipality, they're talking about your firm. You want to develop a robust sales process to bring new clients on board, right? All of those things are critically important for you to drive new customers into your firm. And they're time consuming. It can take 10 to 40 hours to build an incredibly simple website. I'm not talking about a complex one where you can actually set up an appointment with an attorney to come in and talk about your issues. I'm talking about a very simple informational website. It might take north of 15 to 20 hours to design a logo, and it takes about 3 hours per blog post to compose and post a blog post. And so as an attorney, if your hourly rate's $150 and you've done all those things, you've spent nearly $9,000 in time, opportunity cost. It may be more efficient for you to outsource writing that blog post, outsource the development of the website, or outsource the design of your logo. Let a professional handle that. And that way you remain focused on billing. Let the marketing agency focus on the marketing activities. Right? So it's going to help you save time and increase your billable hours. On top of it, there's an element of staying on top of technology and trends. And what worked in social media 2 years ago isn't working today. And do you as an attorney, really expect to stay on top of those trends? Or would you be better off talking to an expert who may be able to inform you? That used to work. Maybe we should think about this for your firm right now. That seems to be resonating in other industries or with other law firms, right? You want to talk to somebody who's got a track record of growing law firm revenue. Law is unique. You have to remain compliant with bar requirements in your municipality, in your state, in your country. And you may also be eyeing an international expansion. How does your marketing cut across borders? If that describes the situation you're in, you definitely want to engage with an expert, either an in-house expert or engaging with outside outsourced marketing agency help. Now let's look at client support, customer support, right? So, and we'll talk about this later on, but on average, only about 85% of bills invoice are actually collected, right? One of the reasons is our questions about the bill. And again, we'll address that later today. Nearly 50% of consumers ask friends and family for referrals. So your brand reputation, how you treat your clients, is going to directly influence how many new customers are coming to you, not just because they're considering you, but because they have a referral from somebody who has used your services before. As we all know, you trust your friends to give you a solid review. And if your friends say, you need to talk to this lawyer for this type of a matter, that endorsement is going to bring a very motivated customer through your doors. So you want to make sure that your clients are having a great experience with you. And it costs about 5 times more to bring a new customer in than it does to retain a customer and get rework out of that customer. No matter what your type of law, there's probably an opportunity for that existing client to come back for additional help at some point down the road, right? And the way that you answer the phone, the way that you onboard potential clients as they come into your firm is important. So on average, fewer than 10% of potential clients who call a firm actually speak with an attorney, right? Even worse, over 40% of customers, potential customers who call an attorney and leave a voicemail, wait 2 to 3 days before they hear back, right? Letting potential clients sit out there calling other law firms in the area for 2 to 3 days means that your odds of bringing that client on board are going down, both because they're looking at other law firms, you're now in a competitive bid situation, but also they're questioning how much urgency do you put behind my matter? If this is how you treat me when you want to win my business, what's my experience going to be like when I'm actually using you as my attorney? And then lastly, over 10% of callers hang up within 10 seconds of calling a law firm due to frustration. So it's really important that when those calls come in, that the phone is answered quickly, that the client knows that they're being heard, that they're not going to a voicemail or an answering service. They're talking to a real live person who can get them scheduled, get them in the door, maybe collect the information that you as an attorney need, so that when you do sit down with them for the first time, you've got the information you need at your fingertips to better serve that client. They don't feel like they're wasting their time. All right, so why would you want to outsource? There's lots of good reasons. The first, how are they finding you? Are they calling? Are they texting? Do they want to chat through your website? Right? How do you respond to that? How long does it take you to answer? Do you let things go to voicemail? Right? So you want to find a partner who will answer the phone, stick to a script that you've both agreed on, align around KPIs or metrics around what's the average speed to answer, how long before a client would hit an IVR branch, or maybe you never want a client to hit an IVR branch. You should align with those with your agency to ensure that your clients are being treated the way you want them to be treated. And then you want to participate. You want to listen in on those calls. You want to listen to initial calls coming in. You want to listen to calls of maybe disgruntled clients or clients who have a question, have some follow-up that they have for the attorney. They can't reach an attorney. Listen to how that call center handles it. Make sure that they have the ability to send notes to the attorney, either through the practice management system, or they have a way to either text or chat with the attorneys, right? Voicemail, leaving a voicemail is in my opinion, a not very satisfactory solution because it inherently leads to delays and lags. So look at the underlying technology that a potential call center that you're considering has. Make sure that they have the ability to schedule within the same system that your attorneys schedule within. Make sure they have the ability to share notes that can be hidden from the client so that the attorney fully understands any issues on a new or an existing client. There's a lot that you should consider when you start thinking about outsourcing so that your calls are answered quickly, efficiently, and professionally. And now let's look at collections. Right, there are some very good reasons why you may want a third party to help you with your collections rate. First, when you've got that ongoing relationship with the client, you may not want to risk angering a client by asking them for money, right? And there's a couple ways that you can go after collections. One is you can traditional collections agency outsourcing. They will usually look to take a piece of what they collect. At that point, though, you fall under some requirements around how involved can the attorneys be in speaking to that client around outstanding bills. Another way is to combine customer service with a collection messaging, where as clients talk to a customer service agent, the agent can also point out that the client owes money still, and that maybe they'd want to either settle up on the phone with the agent, or they'd be happy to set up some kind of a phone call with the attorney. In a gentle way, nudge the client into bringing themselves back up to whole. And again, all of that can be backstopped by software that enables a seamless transference of notes and summaries of discussions between the attorney and the person that had that discussion on the phone with the client. All right, thanks for attending this episode of Lexicon Live. As a reminder, you can also hear tips and tricks on how to better manage your law firm as a business on the Lex Factor, a lawfully good podcast that we release a couple times a week. And then we've got the Lex Factor Briefs, which focus on a topical news article in the legal trade press. We give you our perspective on what's happening in the business of law. It's a great way for you to just quickly stay connected with what's going on in the industry. Along the way, hopefully you're entertained, but more importantly, you're educated on matters that should matter to your law firm. Lexicon is a practice management company, and we do offer total peace of mind. Our software is industry leading and award winning. It will help you track your time, manage your documents, and communicate with your clients more efficiently. When you combine that with our services, it offers a package that allows you to really outsource anything that's not critical to you and your firm, operate more efficiently, make your clients more satisfied with the service that they're receiving, and let you focus on the practice of law and your client relationships. We offer, again, a variety of services that seamlessly integrate into our software, which is extremely holistic. In the software, along with the time management that you would expect, we offer calendar integration, document management, trust accounting, client intake, and dashboards that help you manage your business, all of that comes in the base level. There's no need to buy additional licenses. There's no need to buy a separate document management system, email plugin. All of that is included in the Lexicon base rate. Feel free to reach out to Lexicon if you have any other questions about how we might be able to engage with your firm to make things better for you. And again, make sure to join us next month as we continue the discussion on utilizing new law to optimize revenue. Thanks very much.